Hi, so we're going to be talking about possessive pronouns this week. And a pronoun is a word that substitutes for someone's name. So, for example, if I said, Miss Hanson is going to go to the grocery store, Miss Hanson is going to buy bread, Miss Hanson will take the groceries home to her house. Instead, I would maybe say, Miss Hanson is going to the grocery store. She is going to take the groceries home and she will load them in her cupboard, right? So we would use a pronoun so that we didn't have to keep repeating the name over and over again. So this week, we're going to look specifically at possessive pronouns, and those are pronouns that show ownership. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to screen share my paper, and you're going to freak out because my paper is a weird kind of paper. I had some issues with my copier clogging, and all of my copy paper is in my closet, which is filled with ceramic sculptures that are drying. And so I can't really get the paper out because I would have to move the sculptures, and that's too much. So I'm using this beautiful paper that is really fancy that normally I use for special occasions. It's a paper called Speckletone. And so it's a little bit different than what you're used to. It has little flecks in the paper, and that's why it's called Speckletone. All right, so a possessive pronoun is a pronoun that shows ownership. And so I'm going to use my little colored pencil to underline that. Possessive pronouns can replace possessive nouns in a sentence. Okay, so I have my, your, her, his, its, our, and their. They all show ownership. So here's an example of why we use possessive pronouns. The teacher gave her students the students' tickets to the museum. So we're saying the students way too much. And we're saying her students and the students. So a better way of saying that would be the teacher gave her students their tickets to the museum. So we added their and we got rid of the word students. Okay, so we're going to do 1 through 3, and then I'm going to put on some Jeopardy music, and you guys are going to do 4 and 5 on your own, and I will turn off the camera and I will do them too, and then you can check your work. Okay? All right. So we're going to rewrite each sentence with the correct form of possessive pronoun in parentheses. So they're going to give us some choices, and we have to figure out what the best one to use is. Max and I went to see Max's favorite exhibit. Well, I think we're probably going to replace Max's, right? So would we use my? No, because we're not talking about me. Would we use his? Yeah, probably. If it were Max and I, and we were going to see something that we both liked, we would use our, but we were only substituting Max. So we're going to rewrite each sentence. Max and I went to see his favorite exhibit. Okay, and we have a period at the end. All right, number 2, we observed a dinosaur fossil and read about the fossil's discovery. So I think we're going to get rid of fossil here. It is not, it's only one fossil, and I'm not involved. If we use our, that means that I have to be involved too. So there's only one fossil, right? And I think its is going to be the best choice there. We observed a dinosaur fossil and read about its discovery. There's no apostrophe in the it's. Usually there is, right? If we're using it is, or if we're showing a different kind of ownership, but we're not. It's just going to be straight ITS. All right, we learned about dinosaurs, including dinosaurs' habits and diets. This is plural, so we don't, that's singular. That's singular, so we want there. So we're saying we learned about dinosaurs, including their habits and diets. All right. Now I'm going to stop my share screen and I'm going to put on my Jeopardy music. I usually have the volume on my phone turned all the way down. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Ha! All right. Hopefully you're done. I'm done. And you've copied the sentences down. I'm going to go ahead and share my share screen again. Okay. So I looked at number 4 and it said, Mary told me that Mary's brother would love the exhibit too. And my choices were my, her, and their. And Mary's a girl. And so we're going to say her brother. Mary told me that her brother would love the exhibit too, period. Number 5, Marcus and I found Marcus's in my class in the museum shop. Marcus is in my, I'm involved. So that becomes an our issue, right? Because I'm involved, Marcus is involved. So Marcus and I found our class in the museum shop. All right. So I hope this helped you, and I hope that you learned a little bit about how to use possessive pronouns. And the possessive pronouns we were working with today were my, your, her, his, its, our, and their. All right. Thanks for joining me.